Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Nomad in Game Land and to part 2 of this Loop Zero to Loop Hero playthrough series. Right, if you missed the first episode and you're new to the game, watch that, because this one's going to be really boring. This one is going to be a farming, because 90% of this game is farming. Right, so we managed to get the Herbalist Heart, the Field Kitchen and the Gymnasium, but we still need the Supply Depot, the Intel Center, the Cemetery and the Crypt. So we need the Supply Depot and the Intel Center before we even try to attempt, I think, to beat Chapter 1. Right, we need these two and the Forest for Chapter 2. Now, we made a decent start. Now, continuing, so if you have watched the last episode, you'll know we've got a couple more cards. So we've got the village and the cemetery. Now we're going to get, it's village and the blood grove. Now we're going to get rid of, we actually got the chrono crystals in the swamp. Ignore those. We're not going to use them through our entire gameplay. We're not going to use the swamp or the chrono crystals. We are going to swap out cemetery for village. And we're going to add blood grove. Both of these are really important. Really important. Less so in the mid of the game, but really important at the end of chapter 1 and going forward. But that's enough yammering, let's jump in. So exactly the same strategy, we're going to spawn the boss and then we're going to leave. So if you didn't watch last week, the last episode, watch that first, so you know what we're doing here. Right, so we got a blood grove, and what blood grove does is attach to a grove. Right, so we place the grove here, and it's going to attach to it, and what it's going to do is basically reduce the enemies in this area of effect. Reduce their HP by 15%. So once they get down to 15%, they'll just die instantly. Which is really useful, and it works against bosses, which is what makes it incredibly useful to have. Now, we weren't struggling in the loop, so we don't really need it. We actually don't need to use it often, but it's there to lend a helping hand. So it's useful to understand how it works, so when you do need it, you don't have to figure out what's going on. Now, right now, we've got a village. We've got another bar to play with. And this is the XP bar here. This yellow one. We didn't have it last time. And what villages are going to do is, if we get any one of them. Let's put this one here. What villages do is they give us a little bit of HP when we pass through them. But also they give quests. So when I get one, I'm going to show you. Right, so we got our first village. And I'm actually going to place it down as soon as I get it right in front of the hero. So what's going to happen is we're going to walk to the village. It's going to boost our HP. Yep. And it's going to give us a quest. And what it does is it show a little crown or an enemy somewhere around here. I think it's a crown anyway. And what that means is this enemy now is going to be stronger. I think it's twice as strong. And it's going to give us some better loot and some experience once we killed it. Which is important, because we want better enemies to get better loot, to be stronger on the loop, to gather more resources so we can deal with more enemies, and then we can build our buildings and farm whatever. Look how much harder it is. Quest goal, 200% HP. This guy is taking forever to take down, and we took him down without a sword, which I think is pretty phenomenal. Oh, we have finally got a weapon. And we've got another treasury, perfect. Right, so one thing to note is once you place 2 down, every other village will spawn a bandit camp next to one of your villages. Now, you don't really need to be that mindful of them in chapter 1. But you do need to be aware that bandits can steal your stuff. They can steal stuff you're wearing, and they can steal stuff in your inventory. So bear that in mind. If you've got enough Oblivion cards, I do tend to take them out, but I'll explain the circumstances in which I usually do have too many Oblivion cards, but generally I don't. I generally hold on to my Oblivion cards to get rid of the goblin camps, but it's an option, right? They might steal some of your stuff. Also to know, we've got potions now. We've got potions. And so what happens is I can't click on them to refill. what happens is if your HP drops to a certain point, it will just automatically use the potion, and it refills when you pass the campfire. We've got no control over it. I forgot that we didn't have it in the last round. See that bandit camp that just spawned? Yeah, potions are really useful. They're really useful. Okay, so we just finished our XP bar, which means we've got a traitor pick. Right? They're a bunch of like buffs that you get once you fill up the XP bar, which is another reason why we want to get loads of villages, because we want a bunch of XP to get these buffs. Now, article of protection, if you ever see this one, this is like the best one. It just gives you a shield. It's going to make us super strong. And there's some other good ones, so I don't want to tell you all about all of them. But what that means is we can probably get away with some extra enemies here. So I think I'll do just that. I think instead of making 5 spider cocoons, maybe I'll make 6 spider cocoons. Right, so we're in loop 5 now, and we're really coming close to the end of the map, and I don't know if we should slow down so we can get an extra loop out of this. But yeah, we're doing this pretty quickly, and I want more resources. Thing is, we are doing this incredibly quickly. Which one's better here? I feel like this one's better. So I don't know, I might be a bit more careful with how we place these cards, but we've got a treasury to fill up soon. In fact, we can probably get away with another one because we get a shield every time we go around. So if I put a cocoon here, I think we can get another loop out of this. So I'm actually going to try to be careful and not spawn the boss before we've gone around one more time. And this time I'm going to take the risk and put the battlefield down. Yeah, I think we can probably get away with the meadow. And so now we're not placing down a single card. We're not placing down a single card until we go around the loop once. Is that wise? I don't know. Either way, we're not struggling. Right, so we've actually got another perk to take. I don't really know. This one is kind of like useless unless you're really going to die. To keep the card off placing its tile. Ah, why not? See, I'm not sure it's really worth doing this. Because we could just be placing these cards, right? We could just be placing these cards. Nah, let's do it. Let's try to hold out till loops. One more loop. Because at the very least, we're getting more metals. We actually needed more food. I think that's one of the things we were missing was food. Right, so we passed the campfire. And so the idea was now we can place all these things down. Alright, the boss is spawned now. Now we hold this so we don't lose out. And now we've got a bunch of resources to place down. Right? So now we got a bunch more resources to place down. What that also means is we got a whole loop to collect more. So in theory, That might mean we've got more. We can collect more, in theory? I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm hoping it does. But yeah, we're holding up fine. We're not struggling at all. We're really not struggling here. I think I'll stop with the spider cocoons because we got plenty. Again, we're not struggling. It's not like we're struggling to kill them, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's more than enough. It's more than enough. Right, this one's actually quite tough. Jesus, man. Those guys needed to calm down. Right, let's upgrade some stuff of ours. Right, do you remember when I told you that it would be useful to have a bunch of Oblivion cards? Well, we're about to have some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down another village somewhere like here. And I'm actually going to place a bunch of spider cocoons. Like all of them. Because one of the perks we can now have is called Blissful Ignorance. And what it's going to do is going to give us a bunch of Oblivion cards. And using the Oblivion cards, they're going to heal us by 10%. Alright? So what that means is all those spider cocoons we can now destroy. In fact, like the bandit caps we can now destroy, and that's going to heal us. Right? We'll keep the bandit for now, but let's say there's a particular enemy we're not a big fan of. What we can do now is destroy them. In fact, the bandit camp here. No, this bandit camp here. Let's destroy it. That's going to heal us as well. The bandit camp here. Let's destroy that. It's going to heal us. And we've actually got our card back, funny enough. And so, now that we've got a bunch of Oblivion cards, we can use that to tidy up and get rid of those bandit camps. And again, look, we've got our health back. Because we don't have any vampirism right now. What that means is, every time we're fighting now, we're not collecting back any HP. Which is not ideal. We would like actually something that does have either, we would want something with either regen or some vampirism. Yeah, we got neither at the moment. Which makes us vulnerable. Right, so now we've got some vampirism, we're actually in a very strong position. We're not going to have any problems whatsoever now. We have got some decent items. Some more vampirism. And some more vampirism here. Yeah, we're sorted now. Once you get some vampirism, honestly, like, okay, we're 1160 now, right? Let's see what we're at, like, in the next couple of battles. 1160. Actually, that's a lie. We'll 12 something. Yeah, it's because we passed the field. So 1225. Right, so we came out of that battle with 5 HP gone. Once you get some vampirism, you're very, very, very strong. Right, so we're coming out of this loop. It's really annoying. We didn't quite get the 12 rations to finish this off. But make sure you place down all of your cards. You don't need them, except for the living cards. Make sure you place down all your actual tiles, your meadows, your rocks before leaving the loop. Otherwise, you're just relieving resources on the table. Right, there you go. Another successful farming mission. And what we're going to do is we're going to build where we can build. So we can't build a supply depot. We can't build a supply depot, and you can't build a cemetery. Well, that sucks. That's 2 things we need to build. Alright, so I guess we're just doing the same thing again. Unfortunately. we're just gonna do the same thing again. I told you it's farming, right? We're gonna do it again. We're just gonna do it again. Right, so I'm on this... The next expedition, I'm having a bizarre time. We're just not getting any cards. So we're on loop 5, right? We could have finished it in the last expedition. We were on the home stretch. Look at us now. We're just not getting the cards we need. And it's absolutely bizarre. But it can happen. So I just wanted to let you know that, you know, you're not always going to beat the loop by loop 5, right? Sometimes things just don't go your way. There's a lot of luck involved. And sometimes, I would say, I wouldn't be scared, right? So you'll still probably finish by loop 7, still, right? But it's just nothing to be that afraid of. Right, Echo Protection, yeah, I don't even need to read it. I'm gonna get that one. Right, so we finally spawned the boss in the end of loop 7. So I did say that, I did say loop 7, but this is a really strange one. This has been a really strange expedition, like... Nothing's happened. Nothing has happened. Like it's just been such a drawn out affair. If you look at how much we collected, we got no resources. We maxed out wood last time. We didn't get the cards we needed. We just did not get the cards we needed, or at all. But at the same time, I don't know. It's just been a bizarre one. So last time we were at the end of loop 6 and we maxed out. Oh, we had 10, 10, or 10, 10, 10. This time we got nothing. And it is, again, it's the luck of the draw. I have no idea why. I've got no idea why. One thing to be careful of is when you are placing things. So I want to place down this grove against wood. If I place it down here, it's going to kill this little kitty cat. It's going to kill the wolf. So we don't want to place it. We want to place it somewhere that's empty now. Right, so we weren't able to quite finish off this treasury. We end the loop with a pretty respectable haul, but a bizarre one. A really bizarre one. Right, so we farmed twice. What can we build? Hopefully something. Supply depot. Take that. We'll take that. Anything else? Nothing. Oh, we can build a cemetery. Do we want to build a cemetery? I guess there's only 2 of those, and... I'm not sure it's worth it, you know. How many wood? Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Now, I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna cut it there. I'm afraid the next episode's gonna be some more farming. And just farming. So hopefully it's not too boring, and I hope you didn't find this episode too boring either. But anyway, join me next time for part 3, where we will continue our journey from Loop 0 to Loop Hero. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.